Getting to the polls this election season will be a little easier for Volusia County voters. Trader Joe is creating 500 jobs right here in Volusia County, and things continue to look up at Daytona International Airport. Hi, and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. On today's show, we will feature those news stories along with Florida-friendly landscaping tips, and we'll check in with Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, Director of Beach Services Mark Swanson, when they sit down to chat beach safety. That and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Trader Joe's has begun clearing land on a 76-acre parcel to begin construction on an 800,000 square foot regional distribution center in Daytona Beach that will create more than 500 jobs. The Monrovia, California-based national grocery store chain will bring its warehouse just east of Interstate 95. The Volusia County Council is helping to pave the way for future economic development. The Volusia County Council recently awarded a contract to P&S Paving, a Daytona Beach company, to construct the Mason Avenue extension and associated road and utility improvements to support the construction of a Trader Joe's distribution center on the west side of Daytona Beach. The county's Economic Development Division worked collaboratively with the Team Volusia Economic Development Organization, the City of Daytona Beach, the state, and Consolidated Tomoka Land Company to put the complex deal together. Keith Norden, President and CEO of Team Volusia, said the project represents a major victory for Volusia County's economic development efforts and sets the table for other developments to follow.
We are so delighted that Project Alpha, also known as Trader Joe's, located their large distribution facility here in Daytona Beach in Volusia County. And it's a great economic impact because it has an estimated $88 million of capital investment. 450 jobs will be hired over a 3-year period, with another 100 jobs that will be hired for truckers. So you'll have a basic 450 distribution jobs and then another 100 trucking jobs. We are getting interest from some of the suppliers of this company who are also considering locations in Volusia County so that they can be close by this distribution facility. So that may even warrant even more jobs coming to the area.
The road and utility work totals to just over $2.6 million. However, the Florida Department of Transportation will reimburse the county more than $2 million. County engineer Jerry Brinton said the extension of Mason Avenue South will tie into Dunn Avenue, providing greater accessibility from east to west sides of I-95. The road infrastructure work is expected to take 6 months.
The road improvements were very important to bringing Trader Joe's to this site, because it is a distribution center and they've got hundreds of tractor trailers going in and out daily, all day long. And so this new access road to the south allows those trucks to be able to use Dunn Avenue, cross over I-95 and access US 92, and not get on the busy section of International Speedway Boulevard with the 6 and 8 lanes and all the other traffic, so it can avoid that. It provides an alternate access point.
The road infrastructure work is expected to take 6 months. Trader Joe's, the distribution center, is expected to be completed in late 2015. Votran and the Volusia County Elections Office are partnering to offer free rides to the polls for registered voters.
Well, we feel it's every resident's, every citizen's right to get out and vote, regardless of whether or not they have a car, whether or not they have a way to get to the poll. So we like to offer these free trips to the poll each election to encourage as many people to vote as possible.
The Ride Free to the Polls with Your Voter ID program provides voters with a lack of personal transportation and equal opportunity to vote, according to Ann McFall, Volusia County Supervisor of Elections.
All you have to do is show your voter identification and say you're going to your polling place or to your early voting site, and you'll get a free ride there, and they will pick you up and take you back to where they had originally picked you up. It's just a great success, and we've presented all over the state. As far as this partnership is concerned, there are many other counties looking to do it as well. You could, again, you can also get a ride to an early voting site in advance of Election Day. There is no reason why someone can't vote these days and times.
In addition to being offered to riders of Votran's fixed routes, the Ride Free with Your Voter ID program is available to residents registered for Votran's Gold Service. Gold Service users must schedule their trip a day in advance. Gold Service is available to persons who, because of physical or mental disability or age, are unable to transport themselves and cannot use fixed route bus service. For more information on Votran, you can contact Votran Customer Services at 386-761-7700 in Daytona Beach, 386-424-6800 in New Smyrna Beach, or 386-943-7033 in West Volusia. You can also visit Votran on the web at votran.org. Passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport continues to climb. During July, 57,397 passengers flew in or out of the county-operated airport compared to 52,616 passengers last July, an increase of 9%. For the 12 months ending July 31st, passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport increased 6%, from 593,044 passengers last year to 627,788 passengers this year.
We knew it was going to go up, but we didn't think it was going to go up quite that much. So we've had, I'd say, about 53 months of, out of the last 53 months, about 48 months of increase. So traffic has been doing very well. We're right now at about 627,000 passengers for the year, 57,000 for the month, and we think we're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 640,000 through the end of the year. So it's going to be a good year. It's becoming a very good year for us, and we're optimistic about 2015 as well.
For more information about Daytona Beach International Airport, you can go to flydaytonafirst.com.
Hello, I'm Reggie Santilli, and I'm a member of Volusia Eco Advisory Committee. The volunteer group works closely with Volusia County Council and makes recommendations on projects that enhance the quality of life for our citizens. It's an honor and a pleasure to serve in this capacity. If you would like to share your skills and serve your community, why not consider joining one of Volusia County's advisory boards? We have openings on several boards. If you want to make a difference in your community, please visit volusia.org/advisory.
Swimming and other water-related activities are excellent ways to get physical activity and health benefits needed for a healthy lifestyle. The Florida Department of Health collects ocean water and tests it for bacteria levels. When levels are high, the Health Department issues swimming advisories. That purpose is to make sure people have a safe and enjoyable time in the water. Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong has more about it in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Whether you are taking a stroll along Florida's beaches, playing in the sand, or going for that dip in the ocean, spending time at your favorite beach should be as enjoyable as possible. And the Florida Department of Health is helping you with a program that monitors beach water.
In the Healthy Beaches program, we test our ocean water on a regular basis all year round to make sure that it's safe.
The reason it's important is we test for a bacteria called Enterococcus, which is an indicator of feces in the water. When those levels get too high, we can issue an advisory and hopefully keep people out of the water and keep those people that might have swam from getting sick.
Enterococci are enteric bacteria that normally inhabit the intestinal tract of humans and animals. The presence of enteric bacteria is an indication of fecal pollution, which may come from stormwater runoff, pets, wildlife, and human sewage.
If the bacterial level were too high and people would swim in the water, a certain number of people would become sick, and usually the type of symptoms that they're going to experience would be diarrhea, possibly vomiting, and maybe a skin rash.
According to studies conducted by the Environmental Protection Agency, enterococci have a greater correlation with swimming-associated gastrointestinal illness in both marine and fresh waters than other bacterial indicator organisms and are less likely to die off in salt water. If an enterococci result were observed to exceed 103 colony-forming units per 100 milliliters of beach water sampled, and a resampling result also exceeds this value, then an advisory would be issued for the sampling site. The following Volusia County beach locations are being monitored: Bicentennial Park, Granada Boulevard, Seabreeze Boulevard, Main Street, International Speedway Boulevard, Silver Beach Avenue, Florida Shores Boulevard, Dunlawton Avenue, Torrenita Avenue, Ocean View Way, North Jetty, South Jetty, and 27th Street. For more information, please visit www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Applying the right fertilizer is important, and today, horticulturalist Joe Sewards gives us some important tips on fertilization.
Hi, this is Joe Sewards, and welcome to Horticulture Today. In case you don't already know it, Volusia County now has a summer fertilizer ban in place. It took effect on July 27th, and the application of nitrogen and phosphorus are now banned between June 1st and September 30th. The concern is the water quality in both the Mosquito Lagoon and the Indian River Lagoon. As many people know, there have been concerns in those lagoons with the death of manatees and dolphins and the decline of seagrass. Partially, this is attributed to the application of fertilizers during the rainy season. So in response, Volusia County Council has imposed a summer fertilizer ban for the application of nitrogen and phosphorus. That doesn't mean that you still can't control weeds and apply other things to your lawn and your landscape. This is an example of one of those products. There are many brand names out there and many retailers sell similar products, but this is one that contains only potassium, which is not a pollutant of our waterways. This also contains sulfur, iron, and magnesium, which will help in maintaining a nice green lawn during the summer. What this means to you as a homeowner is whether you apply the fertilizer yourself or you have it done, you have to be sure that the fertilizer being applied contains no nitrogen and no phosphorus of any kind, again, between June 1st and September 30th. So be sure that you are in contact with your lawn care company if you're having it hired, or when you go to purchase it, make sure that you understand how to read the label of a fertilizer and make sure you're buying the proper thing. Otherwise, you could be in violation of county ordinance. If you have questions about fertilizer application at any time of the year and what can be applied, you can always call the University of Florida Extension in Volusia County or any county extension office, and we'll be glad to help you with any particular ordinance in your county or your city, because they do vary. Some counties have this ordinance, some don't. Some cities have this similar ordinance and some don't. So if you have questions, feel free to call your local county extension office. Other things that people can use would be anything containing iron or minor elements. It doesn't have to contain potassium, but potassium is a useful element in helping to maintain lawn health. It helps with root growth, it helps with cold hardiness, helps with overall health of the turf. So anything that contains potassium, sulfur, iron, manganese, or other minor elements are perfectly fine to apply. For Horticulture Today, I'm Joe Sewards. Feel free to call us at the University of Florida Volusia County Extension Office, or you can visit our website as well. The phone number is area code 386-822-5778, or you can go to volusia.org/extension.
Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director Dave Byron with his guest, Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Director Mark Swanson.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, the busy Labor Day weekend is right around the corner, and that means thousands of people are going to flock to the beach for fun in the sun on the last big holiday weekend of the summer. Volusia County's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue will be out in full force, staffing the lifeguard towers and doing everything they can to keep beachgoers safe. If you're going to the beach over the Labor Day weekend, there are some common sense things you should do to keep you and your loved ones safe. Beach safety is our subject today. Our guest in the studio is Beach Safety Ocean Rescue Director Mark Swanson. Mark, how you doing?
Good, Dave. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Labor Day, I guess for a lot of folks across the country, is sort of like the end of summer. For us, it's, you know, summer's mostly year-round.
Yes, it is. And, you know, every weekend is a special event and I'm down on the beach.
Absolutely. But it is a nice three-day weekend. I know you're going to have some busy crowds down there. Talk about the staffing, Mark.
We're going to staff probably about 75 towers during the weekend, so that's good staffing. It's a few less than we did in 4th of July, but we'll do well with 75 towers.
Overall, Mark, as we get through the peak of the summer season, how are things in general going on the beach this summer?
They're going really well. Having good crowds this year. We've got a lot of rain in the afternoon, which kind of dampens it for people a little bit. But you know, when the rain stops, they come back. So
sure.
The crowds have been great. It's been a really good summer.
Mark, you know, a while back you employed a prototype type vehicle on the beach, a much smaller vehicle, a little more open air, lower to the ground, a little softer front bumpers and so forth. What's the tail of the tape? Those vehicles working out?
They're working out. We did find out that the maintenance cost is high on them, so we're going to be looking at some other alternative vehicles for next year. The Jeeps are working out really well for us. We're going to maybe look into using some soft top Jeeps, which still allow the employees to be visible to the public, and we want them to be visible to the public. So we have some small Toyota trucks that we're using now. They're red, and they're cheaper on fuel, so we're saving some taxpayer money there on fuel, and getting the big vehicles off the beach eventually. But yeah, we're going to go to some utility style vehicles and some Jeeps, and they seem to work well on the beach.
So as we provide some safety information to the public, perhaps the most important piece of advice that we can give anyone going to the beach is swim in front of the lifeguard.
Absolutely. Anytime you have the opportunity to swim in front of a lifeguard, you need to do so. There's going to be plenty of towers down there, plenty of opportunity. If you have questions, our lifeguards are beach ambassadors, and they'll be able to answer those questions for you. Just walk up to their tower. There's information on the back of the tower regarding rip currents, and there's information about anything on the beach, and if you can't read it there, you can ask, and they'll be more than happy to tell you.
You know, you mentioned rip currents, Mark. You know, from time to time you can have those rip current conditions. Looking at it from a whole summer point of view, has this been an active year or not so active?
We've had a pretty active summer. You know, we've had some storms, and anytime you have storms and anytime you have a change in wind direction, it increases the chance of rip currents. But you know, our lifeguards are trained to recognize them. They're constantly looking in the water. When they see one available or out there, then certainly they're going to blow their whistle and get people out of that area. If somebody gets caught in that rip current, we want them to swim parallel to the shore, not panic. And if we have to go out there and get you, we'll come out there and get you.
Yeah, and I know that your tower folks, if there's any doubt whatsoever, they're off that tower and in the water.
Absolutely.
And chances are they're in the water before the person can raise their hand and say,
raise your hand up there if you're having a problem. Although if the lifeguard recognizes they think you might be having a problem, they're going to go into the water and help you versus stay on there and wait till you call for them. So they're very proactive, and our job is based on being proactive and making sure people don't get into those situations.
The key thing for someone going to the beach, if they should happen to get caught in one of those rip currents, the key thing, don't panic and don't try to fight that surf condition. And as you say, swim north and south.
Swim parallel with the shore until that current breaks.
Right. Hey, one of the other things, Mark, that we always try to say on these safety briefings is alcohol on the beach. not allowed, and in no good way is alcohol going to do anything positive.
Right,
on the
it doesn't mix well with going into the water, you know, especially when you have rip current conditions out there. We don't need to have people come down there under the influence and going into the water.
Right.
It's just a bad mix.
And of course, sun safety. Florida's sun very powerful. Just because it's the end of the summer, don't think that you can't get a pretty good burn.
Exactly, and even if the sun's not out there bright, beating down on top of you, it's overcast. You can still get burned in the overcast. We recommend you come down here and you add a SPF of 35, anywhere from 30 to 50, and apply it often. So if you go in the water and you come back out of the water, reapply. If you're down there running and you're sweating, reapply it often. So we don't want you to get burnt down.
I know you've seen it too many times where, you know, a family will rent a place for 3 or 4 days and they'll go out on their first day and get cooked, and their vacation is basically
They end up staying indoors for the rest of their vacation,
yeah.
and we don't want that to happen. We want them to come down and enjoy the beach.
I want to talk about little kids on the beach, Mark. Obviously, for parents, guardians of little kids, the 3, 4, 5-year-olds, and even up, but even the little kids, you really, really have to hold those hands and hold them really tight if they're crossing that
Absolutely,
traffic
especially if
lane.
you're walking near the traffic lane. You know, we designate a traffic lane every day on the beach, and if we can't designate a safe traffic lane, then we don't allow cars down in there.
Right.
So we have a designated traffic lane, and if you're down there with your kids, hold on to their hands tight, and just always be cognizant of the cars. They're going 10 miles an hour, but 10 miles an hour is still a heavy enough speed to cause some injury. So when you're down there, if you're driving, no texting while you're driving, keep your window down so you can hear things, and keep your headlights on so you're more visible.
The little kids, Mark, you've seen it, you know, they get so excited on the beach, and all of a sudden they dart very quickly and can slip out of an adult's hand. I mean, we can't stress this enough.
Right.
Grab that hand and hold on to it tightly.
Exactly.
And of course, you know, on the other side of the coin for the adults out there, you get out there, you get, you know, kind of laid back in the lawn chair, you get a little sleepy, and all of a sudden, you know, they don't pay quite as much of attention. So that's an important thing as well.
Right. And, you know, if you're up near the east side of the or the west side of the traffic lane, and the kids are having to cross the traffic lane to get down to the water, they're excited about getting into the water. Just really be mindful that they are crossing that traffic lane.
When you go to the beach, if you're going to go to an area where you can drive and park on the beach, pulling in and pulling out of a parking space is something that you have to be extra careful for, because that's when problems can occur.
That's right. You know, and we have one of the rules down there under a beach code that you can't set up your equipment between cars, and the reason why is because somebody's driving down there, and parking is a premium in these holiday weekends, and somebody sees what appears to be an open parking space and goes to whip their car in there, not knowing that somebody might have set their beach equipment in between, and then they're at peril right there of getting run over. So we have parkers down there that are making sure that they don't set their equipment up in between cars for that reason. If people are backing out from a space, use the same rule that we tell our officers. If you stop for any period of time, walk around your vehicle before you get back in to make sure there's no obstacles around you. And, you know, practice safety when you're backing up and when you're driving forward as well. But and just, you know, follow the rules it's a designated traffic lane. You know, no texting, no, keep your windows down, and and your headlights on.
If you got a companion, if you're not there by yourself, you can have that person get out of the vehicle and kind of watch out for you as well, you know.
And then use that companion as your navigator when you're driving down the beach.
Mark, obviously for families with kids, if they want to avoid any opportunity for a problem with vehicle, we have plenty of places on the beach, more miles of actually no drive than you actually have drive.
Correct. We got 47 miles of beach, and we got 17 of them that are drivable. So certainly there's lots of areas if driving down there or cars on the beach is a concern for you and your children, then I say just choose one of those areas where there is no driving.
And the speed limit you mentioned earlier is 10 miles an hour on the beach, very, very strictly enforced.
Yes, it is. We started a new program this year. We have speed safety signs down there that basically tell what the speed limit is, and as you're approaching that sign, it tells you what your speed is. We've also purchased some laser radar guns that the officers have the ability down there to use. And, you know, we're not out there to write tickets and make money. We're out there to modify driving behavior, and we want to make sure that safety is always paramount.
Mark, one of the other things that you've done this year, which I think is a very, very cool thing that you've done, you've got these little bracelets. You call them, I think, Rescue.
Yes.
And if you have little kids or maybe a senior, you have basically a little bracelet.
Yes, the acronym is called RESCUE. It's reuniting everyone safely and quickly. And like I've said before, that when a child gets separated from the family, it's stressful for the family, but it's equally stressful for the beach safety officers trying to get these children and family reunited again. We had one of our officers, Sasha Medina, came to me with this proposal that wanted to use these bracelets, and it's been a great success this year. We've seen a decrease in the amount of kids getting lost, and basically all they have to do is seek out a lifeguard, a law enforcement officer, or a toll booth attendant and ask for one of these bracelets, and all they need to do is write their contact phone number on there, preferably a cell phone number, so that if they do become separated from their family member, it's easier for us to get them back reunited again.
And it's somewhat surprising the number of kids that get separated from their parents. It happens quite a bit, actually.
It is, and we found children a mile away from their family members, and like I said, it's a very stressful situation, but we have seen a decrease since we went to these bracelets.
Yeah, because the thing of it is you lose your focal point if you're on the beach, and particularly for a little kid, everything looks the same,
Exactly, and if they feel that they're lost at any point, all they have to do is look for one of those lifeguard towers and show their bracelet, and that guard will make sure that their family's contacted.
Mark, upland traffic on holiday weekends can be a challenge, particularly in the New Smyrna Beach area.
It is. The beach is filling up faster and faster every weekend, it seems, and we're trying to warn people ahead of time when areas fill up. We're using some message boards that we're putting out away from the beach so that people know coming to those areas, hey, it's busy here today, it's already at capacity. We're not telling you can't come down here, we're just telling you maybe to use another ramp entrance.
And if you got a smartphone?
Smartphones are great.
You got an app?
We got an app, and you can download that app for free, and it can tell you all what ramps are open, which ones are at capacity, can tells you the tide, the temperature of the water, and it's updated real time.
And when people come through the toll booth, they get a little handout as well.
Yes, they do. We have a flyer that's passed out, and if you have any questions, you can ask at the toll booth, or once you get on the beach, seek an officer, a lifeguard, and we'll be more than happy to answer your question.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information with us today. Great summer out there. You guys have done a great job.
It's been a great summer, and we want people to come down to the beach and have a good time, and we want them to come back again.
Our guest today, Mark Swanson, Director of the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. So if you're going to the beach, be extra careful, be safe, and have a great time. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, you can give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And don't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.